All right, Andrew Easton here for the ESUCC, back with Eileen Marks of ESU2 for segment 2 of this 3-part, where we're going through kind of the before, during, after of leading whole group. And so really grateful to Eileen for talking us through kind of the thinking that will help us be better in those spaces when we're in front of our entire classroom in a remote setting, likely in that video conferencing piece as a Zoom or Google Meet. So that being said, Eileen, we're looking forward to learning from you.
Thanks so much. I love this topic because this topic is teacher clarity, and teacher clarity is one of my favorite things, because when you're clear with your expectations, you're clear with your learning targets, and you're clear with your success criteria, the teaching becomes like so much easier and learning becomes so much easier. So I was able to do one of the videos on video conferencing norms. And I alluded to this before, during, and after, and I just want to talk a little bit more about the during. So the during part is that teacher clarity piece. This slide is a resource for you. So there's lots of words on it, but I'm going to actually go through each piece if you don't mind. So number 1, review your norms and expectations. Know what the students are supposed to do, and make sure that the students know what they're supposed to be doing, right?
Give me a couple examples of that. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, so like, how are they supposed to act in there? Are they supposed to have their cameras on or off? Is the community for learning? Is it for collaborating? Is it, are we thinking about that everyone can be a learner and we can be patient with each other? But all of those things, those norms and expectations, were in number 1 of this. So you need to go back to number 1 too, if you have some other questions on that one as well. Yeah. So, I want you to think about learning as much as you can about Zoom, or learning as much as you can about Google Meet. And I will update this slide. You'll get a bit.ly to this slide, but I'll update it, and I'll put a Google Meet tutorials in there as well, because some of you use that. Think about how you're going to use the breakouts. Think about how you're going to have kids ask questions of each other. How are you going to use discussions? How are the students going to interact with each other while they are synchronous in that spot? Because that's the relationships that you're building right now. That's the collaboration that they need. They need to be able to talk to one another. Even if you have some time that you do some Zoom games, so they have access to those. That would be fabulous. Oh, I did find a Zoom game YouTube video. I'll put that in the notes, so I'll update that as well. And then thinking about, how are the students going to know that they're successful in the content? Post the learning targets. Maybe have a poster right back here that has it. Maybe you always have it on a slide. Maybe you're connecting it to everything that you do. This is why you're doing those things. This is how you're going to know that you're successful. Use a ton of examples, and I'm going to tell you, you cannot go overboard in this. And teach the students how to be successful in your classroom. Be really explicit. Like, Johnny, you are going to be so successful in this classroom when you come to this synchronous learning prepared and you do A, B, and C. Just be really specific. And then the last part of this slide is for the students. So during the class meetings for the students, asking clarifying questions. No question is too stupid, right? We want kids to ask the questions, because if they have the question, other students in the synchronous learning have the same one. Listen carefully and ask good questions. That could be part of your norms that you have set for your classroom. Use those reaction buttons in Google Meet and in Zoom, so to let your classmates know that you agree. They're used to seeing you face to face, and those nods, that's great. So if you can't have your camera on all the time that they can see your face, use those reaction buttons as well. The hand raising button is great. Oh yeah, make sure that you're muted when you're not speaking, because a lot of times the dog is barking, right? The cat might be meowing, or the washing machine might be going, because the laundry room might be the only quiet place that you have, and that's okay. But mute when you're not talking. Make sure you're turning off your notifications. Make sure you're keeping your smartphone upside down. Shut it off for no distractions if you can. That would be great. So hopefully these are some success tips for you for during those Zoom meetings.
Yeah, that's a great comprehensive list, and just taking the time to, I feel like as teachers, there's never enough time in class to be able to go through things that you're trying to accomplish. But as you've shared here, take the time to establish these as part of your routines or your norms, we should really say. And once you do that, I think you'll make up time in the long run by having those pieces in place. So access this information on the slides. Thank you, Eileen. And we look forward to learning from you in video 3 for some of those after whole group expectations.